Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a discussion about whether or not you should upgrade your sparring pit and kind of crunching some numbers to show when and if it's ever worth it. So let's get into it. Alrighty, if you're new to the game, the sparring pit, first of all, is down here in kind of the bottom right area of your castle or whatever, and it's going to be where you put champions in to basically get XP for free. It is listed up at the top how much XP per hour that champion is currently gaining, and it changes based on the star level of the champion. So if we look here in the middle, we can see I have a 2-star champion getting 2100 XP per hour. Then directly to the left here, I've got a 4-star champion getting 2300 XP per hour. So basically, you're going to generate more XP per hour based on having more stars. So in theory, you could argue it's better to have higher star champions in the sparring pit, even though it takes them longer to level up. You could argue more XP per hour means more actual real value of that sparring pit slot. So you want to stick your 3 and 4 and 5-star champions in the sparring pit ideally. But when I calculate this, there's a couple things that I had to kind of assume to make the calculations, and I'll draw those out. I'll illustrate this all. So when I crunched these numbers, what I assumed was a sparring pit is going to average 2200 XP per hour. So 2200 XP per hour per sparring pit. We can see here that on the far left, I'm getting 2100, and then I'm getting 2300 just to the right of that. So it can fluctuate a little bit, but just for calculation and math, I'm assuming 2200 XP per hour from a sparring pit. It's a conservative estimate. I'm also going to assume that a sparring pit is active 20 hours a day. Odds are, most players aren't going to be able to keep a sparring pit active 24 hours a day, setting alarms while they're sleeping and stuff. So, I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit of downtime per day, and I think 20 hours is a pretty decent place to start for an estimate. Then we're going to have, the next thing I'm assuming is that when people are farming XP, they're generating 2000 XP per energy. So what this means is if farming a level costs 5 energy, you're earning 10,000 XP. So usually you have, the character clearing the campaign level, which is a max level and not getting any XP, and then you have 3 characters generating XP leeching off of that main character clearing, and I'm assuming that in an average kind of baseline place to start is 2000 XP per energy. So if a run costs 5 energy, we're generating 10,000 XP. So I'll write that here, 2000 XP per energy. Now, obviously, I know some of you do better than that, and some of you that are maybe starting do worse than that, but this is kind of a good place to start. And then when I calculated this, I'm assuming that the player has 110 max energy. If you look up in the top middle, you'll see that I have 113 max energy. Some people have a little bit more than that. Some people have a little bit less than that. But 110 is a good place to start for, just an all-encompassing max energy number. Because what I had to do was calculate, if you spent these gems on, refilling your energy, how much XP you were sacrificing and how long it would take for the sparring pit to catch up to that loss of opportunity for farming XP. I know it kind of gets convoluted. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, but just follow me and I'll crunch it all down to one number and I'll make sense of it. So those are the things I'm assuming when I calculated it. 2200 XP per hour per sparring pit, active 20 hours a day per sparring pit, 2000 XP per energy when you're farming XP in the campaign, and an energy refill being worth 110 energy. So that's what I assumed when I calculated this stuff. And let's clear this here. And now let's pull up the calculator. So what does this all mean? 2200 XP per sparring pit slot times active 20 hours a day gives us 44,000 XP per sparring pit slot. That's kind of a generic number that we can expect to get from a sparring pit slot. So with a pit costing 300 gems, that's what we're sacrificing. We're spending the 300 gems. We're going to divide that by 40 gems per energy refill. That's how much it costs to refill your energy. That means we're sacrificing 7.5 energy refills. And let's see, so 825 energy. Okay, so then we take that 7.5 energy refills times an average energy of 110 max energy. That means we're sacrificing a total of 825 energy in my, theory crafting by per sparring pit slot if we were to gem that energy out. Now we take that 825 energy times, we remember how I said we would, a general baseline would be 2000 XP per energy, and we're sacrificing 1.65 million XP to spend the gems on that sparring pit instead of farming XP with it. So now we got to figure out, how long does this sparring pit need to be active until we reach that point, until we reach that 1.65 million baseline. So we're going to take that. We're going to take that 1.65 million and we're going to divide it by the 44,000 that a sparring pit was going to generate per day. And we get 37.5. That means 37.5 days until our sparring pit is going to be better off for us, as opposed to if we had spent those gems on energy refills to farm XP. So now it's important to note that this does not take into account the silver that you would have gained from farming the campaign, or the artifacts that you would have gathered to gear up heroes while farming that XP, or the rare champions that would have dropped as a bonus while you were farming those campaign levels. This is strictly taking into account the XP gains, because that's what the sparring pit revolves around, is XP. So in terms of XP, I'm going to say that somewhere between 35 and 40 days, that's how long it's going to take for that investment to actually pay off, which isn't bad. I think, if you're watching this video, you're probably interested in the game, you're probably playing it already, and you can probably make a determination if you're going to still be around in 40 days. If you are, then I would say the sparring pit is worth it. I would go ahead, and if you have I bought a few good deals. I probably spent like $60 total on the game so far. When I saw a good deal for gems come up, I went ahead and scooped it up. So I was able to unlock all 5 slots. I haven't upgraded any, because that's a topic I should also discuss. If you're wondering, well, should I max out my one sparring pit slot, or should I invest in additional sparring pit slots? And to me, that answer is very simple. When we get when we get a sparring pit slot, it's gonna average that 2200 XP per hour. When we go to upgrade a sparring pit slot, we're only getting a bonus 1000. You can see here it's saying 3000 to 3500. That means, based on the star level hero that we have in there, that's the range. But we're already getting a range of 2000 to 2500. So this is only adding 1000 for 350 gems. Or for 300 gems, we can add 2200. So it's more than double the value to unlock additional slots, as opposed to upgrading our current slots. Upgrading our current slots is something that I would say to do if you're just swimming in gems. I mean, if you've spent a lot of money on the game, which there's nothing wrong with that. If you enjoy the game and you spent money on the game and you have lots of gems, go ahead and upgrade your slots. But in general, for most of us who are picky with our gems and selective of how to use them, I would say first unlock all the slots, and then sometime down the road you can maybe think about investing on upgrading those slots. But in general, unlocking new slots is going to provide a lot more value per gem than upgrading a current slot. So yeah, I hope this wasn't too many numbers to kind of follow. I tried to keep it simple and break it down as slowly and kind of explain my work and my calculations. It was hard for me to come up with baseline numbers to use, so I hope I did a good job on picking those. And if you have anything that you agree with or disagree with, or from your experiences on using the sparring pit, definitely let me know. And this video was to show why I went with unlocking all 5 slots, because I do plan on playing for much longer than 40 days. So I do believe in the long run that it's going to be worth it to have unlocked those slots. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.